We love a good show just as much as the next person.
The plot, the characters, the twists and turns.
Sometimes it all needs a deeper discussion.
We're two babes just giving the people what they want on
On
mystery,
Mystery,
murder,
Murder,
and
and
melanin.
Melanin. Welcome back to Mystery, Murder, and Melanin. I'm your co-host, Harmony.
And I'm your co host, Yelly. Today, we've got a lot to go over and break down in episode 8 of the Netflix show Beauty in Black.
Yes, this was the season finale, and we definitely have some things to discuss. So let's dive right in.
All right, y'all. So, we like to go through the characters that we're going to be seeing in this episode. We see most of the, same characters we've been seeing, but there are a few new characters we're introduced to. So, we're going to meet Harold West Collins. He's a judge. We're also going to meet Alex. He's Roy's driver. And, there's some characters we've seen briefly recently. So, we're going to see Lena, who is the lawyer again. And we're also going to see Rain, who is Kimmy's best friend.
Yes, Rain, back up in here. So let's get started. The episode starts with Kimmy. She's running up the stairs. The last episode, she got off the phone with Kimmy and she saw on the security cameras like some people breaking in. And she's just rethinking this whole plan now. So she runs upstairs, runs into the room. She's like, let's call this off. Let's call it off. Horace is confused, like, what are you doing? At the same time, in all this commotion, the robbers busted. I think it's like three robbers, ski mask on, AKs, big guns in their hands. They're ordering everybody to the ground. And so they're like, where's the money? Where's the money? They look under the bed. Horace has like a safe under the bed, under the mattress. And they're like yelling for the code. Horace gives it to them or they get into the safe. And at the same time, Horace is just like coughing. Like we see him coughing throughout this entire season. So he's having like a coughing attack and he's inching his way up to this chair that's in the corner. And so he gets up into the chair and he pulls out an AK and just starts shooting all the robbers dead. And so he's catching his breath. Angel's freaking out. He's like, huh? He's like, it was all me. Kimmy didn't have anything to do with it. Horace is like, why would you guys do this? Like, they say for some money. Horace like, why wouldn't you guys just ask me for the money? Like, I can't stand a liar. Like, that's one thing I can't stand. And so at the same time, the robber's phone rings and Horace orders Angel to answer it. And when we hear the person on the phone, it really doesn't sound like anyone too familiar to us. And it kind of makes us think that these robbers weren't with Angel and a part of the plan. And so the person on the phone is like, is it done? Angel says yes. He's like, okay, meet back at the warehouse. And Horace is like, what warehouse? Where is this warehouse at? And Angel's confused. He's like, I don't know. I don't know. And so Horace is asking Kimmy, like, why would you guys do this? And Kimmy's stumbling over her words. And she's like, I didn't know that Rain was alive like this whole time. And so Horace is like, take the money. He's coughing at the same time. And the gun goes off. Like, dude, put the gun down. You coughing, firing shots. So everyone's just terrified in this scene. And so again, Horace is like, what? Why? Like, take the money. Kimmy's like, you know that we already owe you hella money. Like, we're not going to take your money. And Horace is still confused. Like, what? Like, explain yourself. Like, enough with all this cryptic shit. Like, explain yourself, Kimmy. And so Kimmy confesses that, Jules is our pimp. He makes us do his bidding, basically. And they have a judge on their side, Judge Harold West Collins. And so, like, at the same time, he's questioning Angel's, like, filling in some other, like, tidbits and everything. And so, once Horace hears the name Harold West Collins, I feel like he gets a little shook. Like, what? He's like, okay, y'all don't know me. Get out of here. Just go. And I feel like at the same time, Horace is like kind of having all these things going in his head, like, Jules is involved with them. This Judge Harold West Collins is involved with them. And so he's just like, you guys don't know me. Get out of here. So that's where the scene ends.
I feel like Horace was definitely giving shocked number one, just like learning all this and probably feeling a little like, how did I not know any of this was going on like right
Mhm.
underneath me, pretty much. So The next scene, we are at Mallory and Roy's house. Mallory is in the bathroom. She just got out the shower or something. She's oiling herself up. She's got like a little bathrobe and this cute little like lingerie set
Cute.
on. And Calvin, he walks in and she's like, "What are you doing?" And, she's like, "Are you out of your mind?" And she's like, "Roy," and he stops her like missing it. She's like, "Roy isn't here. He's with Alex, the driver, about an hour away, driving around." And she's telling Calvin, "You need to leave because this is like just overstepping some boundaries right here." And she's like, "Do you think that this is a game?" Because he says that he wants her. And he's like, "No, not at all." And he's like, "Yeah, I've been like wanting you, ever since I first saw you." And she's like, "You need to go upstairs to the little garage apartment." And she's like, "And lock my door." And so she walks out of the bathroom and she's headed to her bedroom. And we see him walk out of the bathroom and he's like following her to the bedroom as well. And she goes into her bedroom and he goes into her bedroom. She's like, "Oh, so you're a stalker?" And he's like, "I can be." And I'm just like, "Sir, like that's not a good thing." Like that's that's creepy. And so she tells him like, "Don't come to the house again unless she calls him." And he like gets on the bed and is kind of like trying to make himself comfortable. And he's like, he wants to have sex in the bed with her. And she tells him to get out. She was like, I'm gonna have to let you go. Like this isn't gonna work." And then, he starts kissing her, but then he is interrupted by a call from Jules. And, she's like, "Well, you better get that." And so, she says, "You should go and never come back again." And he's like, "I'll come back every chance, I get." And she gets close to him and she's like whispering in his ear and she's like, "I'm fucking deadly and I will shoot you in the back of the head if you betray me." And he's like, "I love it. You're crazy about me already." And, he walks out of the bathroom or the bedroom and I'm just like, "Sir, like you need to tread
Toxic.
lightly, I think."
They are toxic. I cannot with them. I
Yeah.
feel like she was kind of liking it
Mhm.
with her saying all that in his ear.
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway, so now Roy is in the car. He's got this new driver and he's on the phone. He calls the lawyer who's leading the lawsuit, Lena, and he convinces her to come and meet with him tonight. It's late at night. He's like, "Let's talk business. Like, come on out here, meet me. Like, I'll make it worth your while." And so Roy orders the driver to stop at a liquor store, which we all know Roy is already off his rocker. Like, he's been drinking, drugging, about to make some
Mhm.
bad decisions. And so the driver parks, and right away, Roy opens the door and vomits all on the ground, like, "Can't handle your liquor, boy." And so Roy gets out, pukes, and then he does like a line of coke on his hand. Psycho,
Crazy.
druggy, and then sparks up a cigarette. And so he's like, orders the driver to go in and buy him some gin. Driver's like, "Man, I really think we should like go back. Like, I think you've had enough." And Roy is just like putting him in his place, like, "Go get me some gin." And so the driver goes in, he makes a call to Jules just to let him know, like, Roy is off the shits. He's called Lena, the lawyer. He like overheard their conversation. He's gonna go meet with the lawyer. And so at this time, Jules is at his crib, and we kind of see Jules has like cute little side piece laying in the bed. Like, don't know if this is a wifey, main chick, but she looks well kept.
Mhm.
She's sleeping next to him. And so while the driver is on the phone with Jules, Roy starts off the car and zoom, like dips off, leaving the driver. And so the driver's like, "Oh man," Jules like, he just took the car and left." And Jules is pissed. He's like, "You're dead." Like, it hangs up the phone. And so Jules gets on the phone with Mallory, calls her for help, like, "Go and get your guy. He is at the Moxie. He's about to do something stupid. He's called up Lena, the lawyer. I need your help." And Mallory's like, "You handle it," basically. And he's like, "I can't be at three places at once. Like, please get up and go help." And Mallory asks, she like, "This stupid bitch." Like, she get out of bed and start getting dressed to go get Roy.
So then we see Kimmy and Angel. They are in a car. And he's like, we have to go somewhere. Now, this is after everything has happened at Horace's house. So he's like, we have to go somewhere. Kimmy's just like, where could we go? And but basically she's like, but we can't leave here though. And she was like, because Rain is in the new hospital. And so she was like, Jules would have never moved Rain. So she knows it was Horace who moved Rain to the nice hospital. And Angel's like you just saw Horace kill all those burglars. And she's steady trying to tell Angel, like, calm down. You need to be chill. And he's just like, she's like, you've never seen anybody like get shot before. And, because he's like, how are you being so chill about this? And she's like, listen, Horace was shocked about what we told him. So I really don't think he knows like what all has been going on. And Angel, he's still just like freaking out. He's like, we're dead. Like, we just need to keep going. And she's like, you know what? Like, where was your guy at? And Angel's like, I don't know. And, Rain calls in the middle of Kimmy and Angel having this little discussion. And she wants Kimmy to come to the hospital to see her, to catch up because they haven't seen each other in a while. And Kimmy's like, listen, it's a bad time. And, Rain's like, well, just come on now. Like, I know you're not at work, so you can come. And Angel, he's over and he's like, we can't go. Like, this is probably a setup because Horace has her at the hospital. So he knows that you would want to go see her. And Angel's is being very cautious, very paranoid. And, Kimmy, she's repeating again, like, Horace moved Rain to a hospital, like to a new hospital. So, like, we need to go see Rain. And Angel, he's steady thinking it's a setup, but Kimmy's like, Rain would never do that.
Yeah, and I feel like, Angel is nervous. He has like a right to be
Mm-hmm.
nervous and anxious. Like he has no idea what's going on. He doesn't know Horace the way that in the way that Kimmy kind of does. Like
Yeah.
he did do this huge favor for Kimmy.
Mm-hmm.
And Kimmy knows Jules in another light too. Like Jules been having her out here doing this and the third.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So back over at the house, Horace is still sitting in the room. Jules and Calvin come in and he tells them to clean this up. Like, they're like, what happened? He's like, they tried to rob me. And so Jules is asking, like, what is this place? Like, and Horace is like, you know that I have different places where I get my needs met. And so Jules is like, okay, are you sure the woman that was like here isn't involved in this situation? And Horace is like, no, 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 like it's fine. Like just clean this up. She has nothing to do with it. And so Jules grabs the phone off the nightstand and he's like, okay, we need to go through this and look through these text messages. And so they're just looking around the room, looking through pockets, looking through wallets, and they see that the robbers have a business card that's the same name as the safe. And so at this point, they're like assuming that the safe company was trying to rob him because they ask Horace, like, did they install this safe? And he tells them, yeah. And so Horace is like, just clean up, chill out. Jules is like, you want me to take care of this? Like, we can handle them. Again, Horace is like, just clean up this mess, chill out. Horace is like, about to head home. He's saying he's good. Jules is like, we can get you a ride home. He's like, no, I got it. And then at the same time, Horace is like, me and my brother went to school with Wes Collins. And he asked Jules, is he still on the bench? Jules is like, I think so, yeah. And he's like, do you and Norman see him a lot? And he's like, I don't. Like, I don't know what Norman does. And so Horace is like, I need to set up a meeting with him. And I feel like during this moment, Horace is trying to like gauge how honest maybe Jules is going to be with him, or
Mm-hmm.
like if he can kind of catch him up in a lie. Because at this point, he knows that Jules has something to do with Wiz Collins, whether it's like a middle person between them, or if he's connected to Wiz Collins
Mm-hmm.
directly, if he's dealing with him or not. But he knows that Jules is in on something with him.
Yeah, definitely suspicious of Jules for sure.
Suspicious.
So then we see that the lawyer, she is showing up to the Moxie where Roy is already sitting at a table. And, she walks up and sits down and she asks him, what is it that you want to talk about? And he's like, I like a little foreplay before I get fucked. And so, he asks her like what she wants to know. And she says that she wants to know how long that the family has known that their relaxers cause cancer. And he's trying to play. He's like, what are you willing to do for it? And she's not for it. She's like, listen, I am not trying to play these games. So basically, I can leave. Like, and so then he says about 12. And she's like, 12 years? And he is being so stupid. He's like, inches, 12 inches. Like, boy, you are a grown man. Like, what is wrong with you?
Childish.
And he's like, why don't you just drop it, And she's like, why? He says he can offer her some incentives. He tries to offer her a job to come work for their family's legal department. And she's like, you think I can be bought? And so, right at this moment, Mallory, she walks up and she tells Roy, you need to come home right now and don't make a scene. He's like, no, I'm staying right here. Like I don't need to go anywhere. And she asks him, she says it again, like you need to come home and that she's not gonna leave, that place without him. And he tells the lawyer, he's like, this is what Mallory does. She comes in and antagonizes me, barks orders at me, and gets on my last nerve. And Mallory is like, listen, I'm trying to be nice to Roy, and he does stuff like this. And she's about to really be in her bag right here because she's like, you need to come home. And Roy once again is like, no, I'm not going to. So she sends something from her phone. Whatever she sends from her phone, it makes everybody else's phone in the restaurant go off, and everybody gets up and like scurries away. Like they instantly leave. And Roy's just looking around like, what the heck? Like, what is happening right now? And, she asked him again. She's like, are you going to leave? And he says, no, he's not. And she's like, there are three men waiting outside. Don't make them come in. And, she sends something else and he gets a little thing on his phone that basically says the same thing like there are men outside, waiting outside. So he walks out. And the lawyer looks at Mallory and she's like, that's impressive. And she's like, did they do
Mhm.
that trick on you too? And Mallory's like, listen, Roy's intoxicated, right? Like, he can't be trusted. And Mallory's like, me, on the other hand, I can be trusted. And she offers the lawyer a job as well. Basically, the same thing Roy just did. And the lawyer laughs and she's like, did y'all rehearse this or something? Because Roy just said the same thing to me. And Mallory, she kind of chuckles and she's like, Roy can be pretty smart between the cocaine lines and the liquor. And so Lena's like, I can't be bought, and this whole lawsuit situation isn't about the money. And Mallory's like, I love it when a broke motherfucker says it's not about the money because it is. And, she tells the lawyer, like, I see you. And the lawyer is like, I see you too. And so Mallory's like, good, then watch me work. And she walks out
Watch me work.
because Mallory about to show her something.
She about to show her something. She about to learn something today. So Kimmy and Angel get to the hospital, nice ass hospital. And so they go up to the front desk and they're like, we're here to see Lattimore. The nurse or the worker is like, oh yeah, Lattimore, she's a VIP patient. Like, give me a minute, let me go check. And so they come back. She's like, okay, yeah, she's awake. She'll see you guys. And so they walk in. Rain is still laying there. She's still looking tired, kind of just like on her side, but she's happy to see them. The Angel is anxious. He is pacing, looking down, not making direct eye contact. And so Rain knows something is up. But Kimmy, she's trying to keep it light. She's trying to catch up with her girl, Rain. Like she literally thought Rain was dead probably an hour or two ago. And so she really wanted to go see Rain, check in on her. They're catching up, shooting the breeze. And so Rain is like, notices blood on Angel's shoe. And he's like, oh crap, okay. So you already know he off the edge. He stands up. He's like, okay, it's time for us to go. Like, let's go. And Kimmy's like, don't worry. Like, I want to stay though. Like, I'm trying to catch up with Rain. And Rain's like, what is going on? Like, but at the same time, Rain, you can't do nothing. So I don't even know why you still asking what's going on. Like, you are laid up in the hospital.
Yeah.
Thank God you're still alive. So Kimmy's just like, just trust me. Like, I got this. You focus on, getting better. And she's like, okay. And so they trying to crack jokes at the end. And Rain's like, I got my fine new sugar daddy that got me up in here. I'm like, little do Rain know what Kimmy has been going through to get her switched to this new hospital.
hmm So then we see that Horace, he has made it back to his, his big old mansion house. And, there's a fire engine outside. And so the butler, he walks into the room that Horace is in. And, Horace is like, is that a fire truck outside? And the butler says, yeah, he believes that it's on the back side of the property. So Horace is like, you mean on the private road? And the butler's like, yeah. And so Horace tells him to go find out, what's going on because only the family uses the private road. So why would there be a fire truck back there? And then we see Horace call the judge, Harold West Collins, and he's asking if Horace is okay. And Horace is like, yeah, I'm good, but I need to talk to you. I need you to come to my house in the morning at 6 a.m. And we see the judge kind of like look
Mm,
at his phone and it's already like pretty late. He's like, that's only in a few hours. And Horace is just like, is that going to be a problem? And the judge is
mm.
like, no. So, he's gonna make it happen.
You gonna make it happen. Horace said, get over here. So you need to get over here. So Mallory and Roy are riding back to the house. They in the back seat of their black car. And she's like, wait till I tell your father what you've been getting into. And he's like, they just talking back and forth, like the same banter, brother and sister that they always do. She calling him stupid. He's like, I run this company. She's like, your stupid ass don't run nothing. And he is like, yes, I do. They're just going back and forth. And so she does. She's like, okay, you remember this? She's like, call my father-in-law to her phone. And it starts ringing. This sets Roy off. He is grabbing her phone. They're tussling back and forth in the car. Her silly self start kicking him with her shoes off. And he's like, hold on, wait a minute. You ain't got no pants on. She like, she sit back up and like start fixing herself. She's like, I forgot to put some underwear on when I was running out the house to come get you. And he's like, nah, nah, nah. You ain't never forgot no underwear on with me. He's like, who you been with? She's like, you stupid. I ain't been like nothing. And he's like, nah, I'm gonna find out what you've been doing. I'm gonna find out what you've been doing. And so the driver pulls up, they're on the back road and they see an ambulance, cops outside, the road is blocked off. And so Mallory exits the car and they tell her that there was an accident and we see that yellow Lambo on fire. And so at the same time, Horace calls Mallory and he's like, sorry I missed your call. Like, what's going on? And Mallory's like, you need to come down to the private road. And he's like, what's going on? She's like, yeah, you need to get down here quick. And so they get off the phone. Horace gets up to go see what's going on.
So Kimmy and Angel, they show up at, her home, which is the hotel, and Big Body and Delinda are out there
Big
waiting.
body.
They're out there waiting in front of her door. And, Angel, he kind of like backs up and parks the car and he's just like, oh, they're gonna like kill us. She's trying to tell Angel, like, relax and chill. And they get out of the car and, Body and Delinda, they're asking where have they been. And Kimmy says, they went to go eat. And Body, she's like, Kimmy, you've been trying to take my place, ever since you got here. And Kimmy's like, no, like I haven't. It's not like that at all. She's like, I'm not trying to do anything. And she's telling Body, like, please don't do anything. Like, because we know Body has already done got Kimmy. Kimmy's done got
Cray, cray.
jumped. She's done got taken away. Like, she's just like, please don't do anything, don't do anything else. And, Body's like, oh, I already did. And Kimmy's like, what do you mean? So then Delinda, during all this, she has like walked away. And so now she's pulling up with like, I think it was a van, and the
Yeah.
door is open, like the sliding door part is open. And when Kimmy turns around, it has her little sister. She sees her little sister in there. And, instantly she's just like, no, like Sylvie, she's like, not my little sister, and Body's like, yeah, since you won't listen to me, I went and got your sister. And, she's like, yeah, she's going to make a lot of money like at my house. She's gonna be working
Ooh,
at my house. And Kimmy, this is her little sister who she's trying to just like help and just protect her from just everything. So Kimmy
yeah,
instantly she attacks Body, but it doesn't
instantly.
last. It doesn't last too long. She had that initial little spurt of energy, but then Body recovered and was Kimmy was on the ground. Body's like beating her. And then Body like pulls out a knife when Angel tries to like kind of get close to them two. And she's just like Body's like, I'm telling Jules and like both of y'all are gonna be dead. And Kimmy, she gets up and she goes to the car that Angel had parked and she gets in that thing, turns it on, and she revs it up to Body. And like Body is pretty much pinned between, her, like the car that Kimmy's in and then some other car. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like now we are seeing Kimmy kind of like buck up because y'all done mess with her
Yeah.
sister.
Yeah.
That was a little crazy scene.
They done turned up the fire in Kimmy now. So the season ends with Body getting hit by this car. Who knows if she's going to survive this hit?
Hmm. I feel like she will.
Yeah. So they have Sylvie, the little sister. That's definitely going to light a fire in Kimmy to be on some. She about to be like guns a-blazing, trying to get her sister back.
Definitely.
Do you think she'll be like, do you think she'll submit a little bit to try and get her? Or do you think she's just going to be like,
No,
shoot
I
him out?
think I think now it's gonna be like gloves off for Kimmy. Like she's been taking a lot from everybody like all this
Yeah.
time. And I feel like this is the breaking point for her where she's just gonna be like, I really don't care what happens to me. I need to get my sister back.
This is when we might see like the vindictive side of Kimmy that Rain kind of like warned us about in the first episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you think that Kimmy will enlist Horace's help maybe?
Mm, I'm not really sure just because the when they left his second house and he was just like, y'all don't know me, y'all never been here,
Hmm.
y'all ain't never seen me, talk to me. I feel like he just doesn't want them to like contact or be in any type of like connection with him anymore. So I don't
Yeah.
know if she'll feel necessarily like comfortable to do it. I mean, I'm sure at some point they definitely are going to cross paths again, but I think
Yeah.
initially it's probably going to be her and like she's probably going to try to get Angel.
Or even do we think Horace might even like on his own try and help them at some point?
He might, but he would have to know what's going on first.
Yeah. But I think he might start digging. He's going to go like sit down with this judge
Hmm. Yeah, he's
and
definitely gonna
see.
know more of that. I just don't know how quickly he'll find out that like who Body is and that
Hmm.
Body and Delinda, have Sylvie who and that Sylvie is Kimmy's sister. Like I don't know how quickly he'll find that stuff out, but
Oh,
I
he might
definitely
not
think
ever know
he'll
about
be
all that stuff.
but I think he'll definitely learn about all the other things for sure.
Yeah, just like old Jules and Norman having this whole prostitute ring, basically.
Yeah. And Roy. He's gonna be really pissed at Roy, I think, once he finds out like what Roy's been doing with the girls.
Well, I mean, Roy's just basically been sleeping with them.
Yeah, but I feel like because it's just been a hidden thing, I feel like Horace wouldn't want them, just for the whole sake of the family's image. Like if he finds out that like it's one thing to sleep with them, but like you've been abusing them.
Yeah, he has probably been abusive. So I'm like, Horace has been using girls too, because he says to Jules, I have different homes to get my needs met.
True. I wasn't really sure what he meant by that though. I didn't know if he was alluding to like women or just like other things that we don't know yet about him.
I'm thinking that means sexual needs, but it could mean a whole lot of things. We don't know.
Yeah. We don't know with these folks.
And we still don't know who has died in this Lambo. We still don't know who was driving it. It could have been Charles or it could have been our dude Silvo.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of like cliffhangers at the end of this like finale because we also haven't seen Norman at all during this episode,
Yeah.
so we don't think we can assume the family doesn't know that Norman did anything to like the people in the ambulance because he had that clean. We know that he had it cleaned up. So it's like
Yeah.
they haven't seen him. They don't know the type of vibe he's on right now.
Yeah. And Norman, I feel like was behind a lot of these hits. I feel like he's behind the Lambo blowing up, and I feel like he's behind Boris getting hit too.
Yeah, I think he's behind both of those for sure because yeah, when the Lambo got blown up in the last episode, we did see that there was like some masked people in the bushes that were like shooting at it and
Hmm.
they definitely kind of look similar to the people who were,
Oh yeah.
Well, they might not be the same people, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe they could have left from that scene and then went to the house
I
right
mean, they
after.
they definitely look like they were sent by the same person or a part of the same crew. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're trained, they're good.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, that was the season finale.
That was
This
you
was a
guys.
cliffhanger.
Yes, 8 episodes. So they definitely will. When did you say the new season is supposed to come?
I think it's at the spring,
In the
so
spring?
we should
Okay.
be back covering this in the spring.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to cover the next one so we can kind of close up some loose ends here. But yeah, so we want to thank you all for tuning into our review of episode 8 of Beauty in Black. Let us know what you thought about this finale episode.
If you don't want to miss any upcoming episodes, make sure you follow us on Spotify and subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow our show page on Instagram for the latest updates and reminders.
And we will be taking a little bit of a hiatus for the holidays. We're still going to try to sprinkle in, maybe like 1 or 2 episodes of just some things that we find, but we will be taking a hiatus before we come back with a new show, a new series that we're going to be following for the next season. So just make sure you stay tuned with us. And I'm your girl, Yelly.
I'm your girl, Harmony. Thanks for joining us on Mystery, Murder, and Melanin. Bye.
Bye.